If you're a man, just make sure the woman you're having sex with won't kill your child if she conceives.
Don't have sex with me, I'd kill all your children. And I wouldn't touch any of you.
That needs to be a question on Tinder.
Stop for a second.
You don't want this.
It is really screwed up because I've given you a lot, we've had a lot of talk about don't sleep with somebody, don't even fool around with a girl if you're drunk or she's drunk, because you just never know if she's going to turn on you and falsely accuse you of something the next day, or 1,000 other things. One thing I haven't talked to you about is, and we have actually talked about, even if you got a girl pregnant, what I thought about that I said, well, even if she didn't want the kid, let's try to convince her to have it and we'll raise it because it's your son or daughter, my grandchild. And I really believe that we should save that life, and that's our family, that baby. But I never ever once did it occur to me that you should have to have a conversation with a girl. Would you kill my child if you happen to get pregnant? And this woman brings up this point and it just blows my mind, and these girls are so flip about it. Yeah, I'll kill your baby. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough thing to talk about, because like it's easy to say now, and then but in the moment it's like, holy shit, am I having a kid? But then like it's also like the guilt of having an abortion would just be horrible too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I probably would let the girl make the decision. Like, I wouldn't force her to do anything, but if I was a girl, I probably wouldn't get an abortion. Like, you just take self-accountability for stuff.
So all premature babies should be left to die.
Not if they don't want to. This is about choice.
All right, so now, so if I could just like animate this conversation, it just keeps going through. So not if they're wanted. Like begets like. I can't make a koala bear no matter how many times I have sex with my husband. You grab a limb, you twist, and you pull. This is a regressive, antiquated view of how we treat inconvenient human beings.
You know what's sad, like actually horrible? Like when you're at like the train or college campus and they have like the pictures of the abortions and people are like, why are you showing that? And it's like, I mean, that's how it is. Like that's what it looks like, that clump of cells, that horrible picture that you're seeing. It's like maybe some of you should see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, even my service dog thinks you're full of shit, so.
What happens in an abortion?
I must exterminate.
anxiety.
That's simple, period.
Exterminate. She just said exterminate. I must exterminate it. Like a cockroach. It's a human being full of 100 years of potential.
Look at this fucking guy.
Simple, period.
Abortion is a tool. Abortion is a tool that allows women, right, to pursue careers.
That is such a misogynistic statement.
Yo, this guy.
Yeah, I know we have a video. It's going to be fantastic. Yes.
This lady's good.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you have a daughter?
Yes, I have a daughter.
Do you have a son?
Yes, I have a son.
So if your son was
She's
in
so pretty
college
too,
and got a girl
unfortunately.
pregnant, you would want that girl to give birth?
Absolutely, that's my grandchild. And if she didn't want to parent that child, I would say it's my responsibility. I would feel it's my responsibility to offer to adopt that child.
What if your son was in middle school and got a 13-year-old girl pregnant? You would want that girl to have to go.
Maybe you teach your 13. When I'm 13, I was grinding Black Ops Zombies with the boys.
It does happen. I know a kid that I grew up with in the neighborhood, and when he was 13, he got a 14-year-old girl pregnant, and they had the child.
At 14? That is crazy.
Yeah, so now when he was...
I would have a 6-year-old right now.
I mean, imagine being 13 years older than your kid when you're 30 having a 17-year-old.
That's horrible.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
that's not horrible, but it's crazy.
Girl.
I would say, first of all, no one wants a 13-year-old to be pregnant. I think everyone.
So she should get an abortion.
Do you think that having an abortion simply wipes it all away? That gets rid of the sexual assault? That cures the pain she endured?
How does this argument apply to the 13-year-old situation then? If that's not a consenting adult, if like the...
Why do the liberals always go to the extremes with abortion? Like, why are we pretending like it's not just an inconvenience thing 99% of the time? Like, if you had to take it, all the abortions, and you had to go to like 13-year-old gets pregnant by another 13-year-old, 0.0001. This is what we're arguing about?
Right.
What if a girl gets raped? Okay, if a girl gets raped, yeah, that's... I mean, well,
it's funny when you talk about rape, they're like, women should be able to walk through the park naked in the middle of the night. And then they'll say, just teach your men not to rape. Well, just teach your little girls not to fuck everything in sight. I'm sorry. For that one.
Hard on.
If you're a minor, you can't consent to anything.
So if you're a minor, should you be able to have an abortion without your parents' consent?
Yes.
If it's going to harm you in the future, you have your whole life ahead.
You just said you're a minor, you can't consent to anything. And I said, if you're a minor, can you consent to having an abortion? And you just said yes. Do you understand how that's a illogical
13-year-old
statement?
is prepared to have a fucking child.
You brought up a stupid point, bimbo.
I agree.
So
No
if they get
13-year-old is
pregnant
prepared
by
to be
rape, by
crying.
consent, whatever, they should be able to have an abortion as a 13-year-old.
No one is saying in the pro-life movement that a woman, a girl who is sexually assaulted, no one is saying that she should become a parent. We know it's human because it has human parents.
Isn't it's so funny because like if you go like deeper down the rabbit hole, aren't abortion clinics like at such like higher proportions in like black and people of whatever?
I forget the number,
Aren't they
but
there's
it's
like way more in
it's
like
something like a third, or it's. I want to
There's
find
way
the number.
more
There's
in
a
minority.
really high number, a majority of black babies that are aborted. So don't tell me that Black Lives Matter and you want to kill 100,000.
well, not
a
even
year.
that. You just go like you keep going up the pyramid to the top. Who's controlling it? And you're like. It's all the same people controlling the narrative, controlling where the abortion clinics are, what people think about abortion. Not going to go down there. I'm trying to keep my
The
channel a
law
little bit.
of biogenesis says
Follow us on Rumble.
like begets like. Like I can't make a koala bear no matter how many times I have sex with my husband. No matter what position I'm having sex in, I can only make a human being. And we know that human being is alive because it's growing. The cells are rapidly multiplying. And what's really fascinating is that human being is self-directed. It tells itself how to develop.
Like, yes, the cells are alive, but that doesn't mean it is human. Like, it doesn't have personhood. Does that make sense?
Does a baby have a
Listen,
That
doesn't
is
have
exactly
personhood.
the argument. So now, when do you get personhood?
When you can viably exist outside of the womb without depending on the person whose body you're in.
But see, that's a slippery slope because when I ask people when does personhood begin, no matter what
stop.
college I'm at, I always get a different answer. And throughout our history, when we separate being a human being from being a person, the results are always catastrophe.
Yes. Yes,
It's never
yes.
good
That's what.
because
Look,
there's
think
a
about
slippery
slaves.
slope.
They consider them
They
to be subhuman.
they
and,
isn't
and that
peoples.
was, and that is by the same exact logic as what these girls are saying about babies.
No, yeah, it is pretty interesting.
And different people
The Jews aren't
subscribe
people.
different
That's what
definitions to personhood.
So Nazi Germany
So
said.
all premature babies should be left to die.
Not if they are wanted. This is about
Not if they're
All right,
wanted.
so now, all right, so if I could just like animate this conversation, it just keeps going.
I love this
So
lady.
not if they're wanted. Your value as a human, you matter regardless of whether or not your parents want you or regardless of how other people see you.
Let me just check
Our point
Instagram.
in the pro-life movement is that every single person, no matter what you say or what your beliefs are, that you have value and that you matter. And it's not, your value doesn't stem from your wantedness.
For these guys are
From
such.
somebody saying that
Jeez.
you're wanted.
Are you listening to what
because your
she's saying?
wantedness could change.
Yeah.
Go ahead, tell me what she just said, because you're not.
Your value isn't determined about if someone else thinks of you, right?
Yeah.
Did I miss it? Did you get me? Was I wrong?
You're close. Very, 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 very close.
I was focused on this guy. Look at him.
I know, they were all G's back
Your
then.
mother could want you one day, then not want you the other.
Yeah, no, that doesn't mean
I
you
need
just
to
die.
answer her question because I think if I'm wrong about abortion and if I die, I go to heaven and God's like, you've wasted your entire life. It didn't matter. Okay, would you like me to answer the question? It didn't matter. It doesn't matter at all, Kristen. You wasted your time. What have I done with my life's work? I've inconvenienced women. If you're wrong,
Killed life. Facts.
you've left millions of people to die because of their size,
It's a
because of their
belief.
location.
Beliefs can't be right or wrong. So then
They absolutely are.
theoretically, you're saying theoretically
Beliefs can be right or wrong.
Did she just say beliefs can't be right or wrong? Let's just keep going.
There is a right and wrong. I think this is a regressive view. This is called a SOFR clamp. This is used in second trimester D&E abortions when we know a child can feel pain. How do they end life in a second trimester abortion? I have the quotes in my binder here from the National Abortion Federation's website, which is online. You grab a limb, you twist, and you pull. This is a regressive antiquated view of how we treat inconvenient human beings.
It is pretty sad that being considered like pro-life is like extreme. Because I haven't even considered myself like super pro-life, but it is like pretty horrible to think about. Like I'm sure if anybody had to go and sit in a room of a second trimester abortion, nobody would be on board after that shit. Like nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know how we kill children in the 3rd trimester, which is legal?
No, I'm saying.
We use this needle, like similar in amniocentesis.
If you're getting an abortion in the 3rd trimester, there's most likely a medical reason or a
Sure.
legitimate reason
All right, stop.
why you need
Stop
it. So
right
why
there.
do you care?
And then
That girl just said if you're getting an abortion in the 3rd trimester, there's most likely a medical reason or, another serious reason, like some of the mother's in danger or something. And that is the talking point that is said all over the place on college campuses and among pro-choice, pro-abortion people. And it is an absolute fallacy. It is simply not true. The NIH, the National Institute of Health, which is a sister agency to the CDC, Center for Disease Control here in the U.S., did a study because they wanted to know what the reasons were for late-term abortions. And they are almost identical to early-term abortions in the fact that 99% of them are for the same reasons of inconvenience and unwantedness. That is a fact, an actual fact. You can look it up yourself, do the homework, don't take my word for it. And you've got these girls running around going, no, they're only doing that if the mother's life is in danger. No, that's not true. It's just not true.
this
Why do you
reason,
care what I'm doing to
an
my
abortionist
body?
uses ultrasound guide technology to identify the child in the womb, and they tried to get the digoxin inserted as close to the heart as possible to cause a cardiac arrest. Then she walks around for 2 days with a dead or dying child inside of her, and then she's given Lemuria seaweed sticks to ripen her uterus, and she delivers a dead child. This is a regressive view. This is a regressive view to believe that this child must die in order for you to live your life as you see fit. You have a very regressive view, I'm sorry to say.
Would you
But
get a
it doesn't
vasectomy?
mean that
Would you?
abortion.
Would you get a
Totally
vasectomy?
Nah.
Would you? Would you get one?
They don't need to get vasectomies because they're hopefully not having sex with women that are going to kill the children.
I'm asking. Would you get a vasectomy?
If you're a man, just make sure the woman you're having sex with won't kill your child if she conceives. It's very
Don't have
simple.
sex with me, I'd kill all
Don't
the
have sex
children.
with me.
There you
I
go.
wouldn't touch
Sounds like a
any
good
of
date.
you.
That needs to be a question on Tinder.
Okay, well, I know, Jesse, I'm out.
I would never touch any of you either way.
Yes, because that makes sure that
Who
makes
is she
that
talking-
justifies your extreme.
Who is she talking to? This guy? He's
Yeah.
like, why you hating on my man? You don't know if y'all were out boogieing what would happen. Get out of here.
Extremist beliefs by insulting the way they look.
I never said that.
That's literally what you just said.
just said
I
that
would
I
never
did.
touch any of you
That's
anyway.
not what I said. I just mean the fact that they're pro-life is why I would never touch them.
Sorry, I'm
That's
gonna take a
sad.
picture.
That's
because
a
my-
horrible-
I
why
would
aren't you
never
texting
hang
me?
out with you because you're pro-life and you love children. Oh my God. What world are we living in? Do you want to try to make a call?
This is the
again?
fall of the West.
Back. I'm just gonna be like, current status. Yes, whiteboard. Listen, if the preborn human being isn't a human being, isn't alive, you don't need any justification for abortion.
What's their vasectomy argument anyways? Like, would you get a vasectomy?
So a lot of the time they'll have, people.
Because there's other contraceptives.
People, extremists like me saying, okay, you have choices to prevent pregnancy, so abortion doesn't have to become your go-to, like an IUD, like birth control pills.
You know what? The one thing they never talk about is just like looking at your calendar.
Yeah, that matters too, but not everybody's regular. So there's that. There's monitoring, condoms, and so women will go, well, why do I have to do that? Why don't my boyfriend just get a vasectomy? And my answer to that, so they think that they're being so great, like just put it on the man. It's his responsibility. And I'm like, so now you're putting your fate in a man's hands. You want to be empowered. You want to be the woman. You want to be strong, and you don't want any control. You want to put it on him. And again, once again, relinquish control to the patriarchy. It is the stupidest. It's just so asinine. I can't even find the words to describe that. So does that explain what that argument is? Does that make sense? Yeah.
Just trying to be a feminist.
Literally don't give a shit. I don't care. But if the preborn human being is a member of our species and is alive,
The thing is too, like with sex, like the girl is the one that like gives it up and consents. Like it's never like the dude's like, all right. Like every single scenario, 99.9% of the time, it's like the guy getting the girl to crack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So wouldn't that mean that you're the one that's responsible for it anyways, realistically?
I don't know if I follow your logic, but either way, you want to have autonomy over your own body. You take control. Get the IUD, take the birth control pills, make sure you be in control.
Yeah, but like my point is like you're not just getting pregnant magically. Like you're the one that decides that. Like when you let a man
take that chance.
Yeah, when you let a man do that to you, and if you even know that there's no contraceptive happening in the moment, like fucking percentage rates are skyrocketing.
there's no justification.
You get pregnant.
Oh, we can get that. We debated that earlier, but yes. But there's no justification that you can give to me that would say it's okay to kill a human being. There's no justification.
But I'm saying where you're going from there is saying that it's morally wrong, right? That's what you're implying, is that's morally wrong.
I say it's morally wrong to kill innocent humans, and our laws should reflect that.
And everyone here who's pro-choice is going to challenge that by saying
Yes, because
it's
they don't
morally
want
wrong
to
on another
acknowledge the
basis.
science. Because this is the reality.
College
If you're
students.
pro-choice, and I'm not attacking anyone, but if you're pro-choice, you have to deny the humanity of the preborn child in order to justify the belief that abortion is okay. Why? Because changing your mind means that you may have to reconsider some of the decisions you've made in your life, and that is very hard. That is why when I'm on a campus and I'm engaged in this discussion, my intent isn't to walk away with every single mind change, because I know I'm not going to be able to change a lot of your minds. But my goal is to plant a seed of doubt, to plant a seed of truth, that later, when you're reevaluating some decisions you're making, you may stop and consider, wait a minute.
It's so funny because these girls are like, but like my career. And I'm like,
I know. I wish you would stop in the middle. Like you keep stopping this dead in the middle of sentences. That she's making good points.
All right.
And
Here, let me just rewind.
It's actually you're kind of wrecking the flow. With all due respect.
damn. All
But
right.
later, when you're reevaluating some decisions you're making, you may stop and consider, wait a minute, that is true. And sometimes the truth is really hard.
I was actually going to strengthen your argument.
That would have been a good time to stop and speak your mind.
All right. Well, now you want to cut it again. So here, I'll go back again.
I was actually going to strengthen your argument because I feel like
foster care system and killing an unborn child. How much does the child suffer between being in a womb and being outside?
So your amount of suffering you will endure determines whether or not you should be killed. That's a slippery slope, because what if someone's in a coma and can't feel anything? They're not going to feel any suffering. Can I kill them? No, because we would say that's wrong. Call me crazy, but killing innocent people is always wrong.
Abortion is determining that I can no longer have a fetus in me because of my own circumstance.
What happens in an abortion?
So I must exterminate it. That's simple. Period. That's
What's it?
the fetus.
That's the best pro-life ad I've ever seen. I must exterminate it. That's a pretty sad statement. But if you want to talk about statistics, the latest Ohio abortion statistics that were just released last week, Black women and Black men make up 12% of the population in Ohio, and they make up 40% of abortions in Ohio. That's statistics.
My thing is, what's wrong? What's wrong with that?
That doesn't mean that
You're allowing them. I'm saying you're allowing them to.
You want to say that's okay?
I love how the white liberals, like you said, who are so pro BLM, are like, yeah, that's empowering that we're killing half the Black potential population. That's great.
It's unbelievable. I actually, yeah.
I mean, it's just backwards. I don't know. I feel like if that was, you're so BLM, then you'd be like, yeah, and like abortion shouldn't be for Black people. Like we need more of them. We need all Black people. You think that would be their logic?
Get together, have more babies,
No,
take
I don't
over
know.
the world.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I'm just saying like with their logic, that's
I know,
what it would
that's
be.
what I'm saying. That should be the logic. Have more babies, take over the world.
Yeah, it's funny.
That 40% of women who seek abortions are Black. When Black
they can
men and women
pursue
only
a
make up
career.
12% of our
So
abortions.
Black women can pursue a career. They're taking an operation so they can pursue a career.
My career.
Or live their lives to enhance their wealth. That's a tool. This is not.
I just gave you statistics.
knock off a human life so that I can have my career.
I can go get bitched at by my boss. Like,
yeah.
What?
I can go be a slave to corporate America. You know, I mean, that is a sick logic. And the truth is, women, you know, all this quote unquote progress, clearly they're no happier with it. Clearly, they're all miserable.
They're all depressed.
All they do is complain. They're depressed. They're on antidepressants. They drink. They do drugs.
It's the same point I said earlier. Like, any of these moms who were at one point, like when they were pregnant, they were like, should I have it and, you know, raise the kid, or should I abort it and focus on my career? Every single time they have the kid, they're like, thank God I did that. That was so much better of a decision than becoming like, oh my God, like, thank God I got to sit in court.
You.
Yeah. Even if, you're a lawyer. Wow, like, congrats. Like, that's gonna really, you know, make a ripple in space time rather than bringing a life into Earth.
And the reality is, you can do both. If you really still want a career, you can have a child.
You hear Tristan's take on that? He said to his sister, because she's a lawyer, he's like, why wouldn't you just stay home and be a fully good mother? Instead, you chose to be a half crappy lawyer and a half crappy mother, because your focus is on the two things.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, bro, that's not wrong. I was having this conversation with this girl once, like late at night at my cousin's house, and, you know, we were on psychedelics, and I was talking to her, and I was like, she's like super liberal and everything, and I was saying, like, as a woman, you're not just creating a life, like, you're literally bringing in a consciousness. You know what I mean? Like, nobody, like, even the Quran says, like, the whole world couldn't come together to make a fly, yet you, like, as a person, like, you can literally make a new conscious being, and we don't even, like, understand consciousness, but you can create that. And then you're gonna sit here and say, like, fuck that, let me kill what would be a conscious being over a career. Like, it's just crazy talk. It's
over a job.
I think it's just
a job.
I don't know.
Job.
And who am I to tell people what? I'm not telling you what to do with your life, but I just feel like, you know, from all the girls that I know, they'd be a lot happier focusing on the family. That's kind of the stuff that they, like, intrinsically like to do. Even as little girls, like, they like raising a little daughter. And then as you get more matrix programmed, they fucking shove their ideas into you and, you know, force the way you think. Then you kind of sway away from that and you go to the liberal capitalist ideologies where you're like, oh, maybe my career is more important. Like, no, it's not. It's nonsense. Like, let's just be straight up. Maybe I'm crazy.
This girl on the right really made me sad with the, I'll just exterminate it.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Simple.
I just gave you statistics. You just wanted statistics. I just gave them. And you just acknowledged a pretty racist statement, and I'm letting you make that statement because I don't need to say anything further to that. She said I was only bringing up race at specific times. You said I wasn't bringing up statistics, so I brought up statistics and I brought up race. Bing, bing.
Abortion is a tool that allows women, right, to pursue careers and live their
That is such a misogynistic.
This dude's really just trying to get some puss, dude.
No, he believes what he's saying. He's been that's how he's gotten some by learning these facts. But good for him. Excuse me, I call them facts, not facts.
Right.
Abortion, it is a tool. It is true. Abortion is a tool that allows a woman to pursue a career because when you're pregnant, all of a sudden you're just a worthless piece of shit and you can't contribute to society anymore. Is that what you're saying?
It's such a misogynistic statement, what you just said. It's a tool that allows women to pursue careers. Like, I'm not capable of being a mother without having an abortion. That's exactly what you just said. In fact, that's what the Supreme Court said in KCV Planned Parenthood. In KCV Planned Parenthood, the Supreme Court literally said women needed access to abortion in order to achieve their career goals and equal with men. That women have to have access to a special surgery that dismembers another human being in order to be equal to men. I fundamentally reject that because I can gestate, I can lactate, I can menstruate. You can't do those things, and I can still beat your ass on any SAT. Next question. Sorry, you just got my feminists all mad.
This chick's hilarious. Like, I tell her, you just got my feminist all mad.
I love this lady, Kristen Hawkins. I just discovered her. I think she's kick-ass. She's smart, and she stays so cool. Like, I would be. Those bodyguards would be there not to protect me, but to protect those college girls from me because I would lose my mind and have no patience at all.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, dislike if you disliked the video. Follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you later.